Ever wondered why the sky above Ethiopia has been oddly cloudy these days? The cradle of mankind, Ethiopia, has been experiencing some uncharacteristic weather patterns. The rains have been absent and the land parched. A drought, the likes of which haven't been seen in half a century, has gripped the region. Now, what if I told you that the man at the helm, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, might have a hand in this? Yes, you heard that right. There's a theory swirling around suggesting that the PM himself is spraying harmful chemicals or biological agents into the atmosphere. Intriguing, isn't it? The man in power, a former CIA trainee and a 2-decade-long spy in the Ethiopian security agency, allegedly tampering with the weather. His motive? Perhaps a bid for utter dominance and supreme power. So, are you ready for this? Let's dive into the dark world of this conspiracy and unravel the truth. The story begins with an intention, an experiment gone horribly wrong. Picture this, a leader, Abiy Ahmed, announcing his grand scheme to create artificial rain.
በሰሜን ሸዋ በጎጃም ያያችሁት ዝናብ የተፈጥሮ ሳይሆን እኛ ያዘነብነው ነው.
A solution to the persistent droughts plaguing Ethiopia. But what if this solution is not as benevolent as it seems? Let's delve a bit deeper. The Prime Minister, in his wisdom or lack thereof, decided to tamper with Mother Nature herself. His audacious experiments involved introducing foreign chemicals into the atmosphere, supposedly to induce rainfall. The results? Not a torrent of life-giving water as promised, but a severe parched drought, the likes of which Ethiopia has not seen in half a century. Now let's consider the potential fallout of such an experiment. The chemicals, these artificial rainmakers, are released into the atmosphere, the very air we breathe. What happens when these chemicals descend upon the land, seeping into the soil, the water, the crops? What happens when they are ingested by the unsuspecting population? We are talking about an environmental disaster of epic proportions, a potential health crisis waiting to erupt. And the drought, oh the drought. It's not just a matter of parched throats and withered crops. It's about livelihoods destroyed, families uprooted, a nation on the brink of catastrophe. Imagine the despair of a farmer watching his fields turn to dust, the anguish of a mother unable to quench her child's thirst. This is not some dystopian future. This is Ethiopia here and now. But why, you ask, why would a leader, a man elected to protect and provide for his people, embark on such a reckless venture? Why would he gamble with the lives of millions with the very survival of his nation? Is it a thirst for power? A quest for dominance? A twisted experiment in population control? Or is it perhaps something even darker, a sinister plot orchestrated by unseen hands? But the question remains, why would a leader experiment on his own land and people? Perhaps the answer lies not in what we know, but in what we are not allowed to know. In the secrets that are whispered in the corridors of power, in the truths buried deep beneath the sands of deceit. To understand the motives, one must delve into the past. Let's rewind the clock and take a step back into the murky past of Abiy Ahmed. Before he was the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, before he was a household name, who was he? A CIA trainee? Yes, you heard that right. His professional journey began in the labyrinthine corridors of the Central Intelligence Agency. Now, why would a future Prime Minister need such training, you might wonder? Perhaps it was just the first step on a path towards a grander scheme. Following his stint with the CIA, Ahmed worked as a spy for the Ethiopian security agency for over 2 decades. Imagine the skills he must have honed during these years: espionage, information manipulation, covert operations. An impressive repertoire for a man of peace, don't you think? But how do these pieces fit into the puzzle of his current actions? Let's consider the alleged motives. Weather modification to begin with. The use of chemicals to artificially induce rainfall sounds benign, even beneficial, until we consider the other side of the coin. Failed experiments and severe droughts unseen in half a century. A natural disaster masquerading as a scientific pursuit. Next, population control and mind control. These are heavy accusations, but in the light of his past, they cannot be dismissed. A man trained in the art of manipulation of covert operations might find these tools useful in his quest for control. And let's not forget the most chilling motive of all, biological warfare. It's an unthinkable prospect, but in the world of espionage, nothing is off the table. The thirst for dominance and supreme power can lead to unimaginable actions. Abiy Ahmed's past paints a picture of a man with the skills, the knowledge, and perhaps the motive to orchestrate a grand scheme under the guise of scientific advancement. But what exactly is he trying to achieve? That, my friends, is the question we need to ask. A leader's greatest weapon can be the suppression of the truth. Indeed, this seems to be the case with Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. It's alleged he's been playing a dangerous game of hide-and-seek with the truth, shrouding his actions in a veil of secrecy. Reports suggest that he's been suppressing information from the press, keeping the public in the dark about his deeds. His experiment, which he himself admitted to, of creating artificial rain using chemicals, has reportedly led to a severe drought, the likes of which Ethiopia hasn't seen in half a century. However, these dire consequences are being swept under the rug, hidden from the prying eyes of the world. His past as a CIA trainee and a spy for the Ethiopian Security Agency for over 2 decades only fuels these speculations. Is he using these skills to maintain his iron grip over Ethiopia? The truth, they say, is the first casualty of war. The world needs to wake up to the realities of this potential crisis. The stakes are high, and the time for action is now. We must not allow the narrative to be controlled by those in power, but instead, we should seek the truth ourselves. In this age of information, knowledge is power. We must take it upon ourselves to research, to question, to delve into the facts. We must not accept the spoon-fed narratives, but strive to uncover the truth hidden beneath the layers of misinformation. And once we've armed ourselves with knowledge, we must not keep it to ourselves. Share this information, discuss it with others, raise awareness about this issue. Let's encourage a dialogue, a global conversation that cannot be silenced. We must remember it's not just about Ethiopia, but about our world, our planet, our home. The world needs to unite and stop this potential threat. The time to act is now.